Hello everyone. In this video we are going to discuss about the concept of pipelining, and also we are going to discuss about how to implement pipelining to the data path of a processor along with an example. Pipelining is an implementation technique in which multiple instructions are overlapped in the time of execution. So actually pipelining is used to improve the performance of a processor by improving the throughput of the instruction. MIPS pipeline instruction execution classically takes 5 steps. First step is fetch. So fetching the instruction from instruction memory. Second step is decoding. So in this step, instruction will be decoded by the instruction decoder, as well as the registers will be read from the register file. Third step is execution. Here the complete involvement of ALU is coming to picture. So ALU will be executing all the operations based on the instruction in case of an arithmetical logical instruction. So in case of data transfer instructions, ALU is used to calculate the address. So fourth step is memory access. Data memory will be accessed in this case. Last step is write back. The final result which is computed by the ALU will be returned back to the destination register. So this is the simple data path. The elements are segregated based on these steps. The first step is instruction fetch. So here the program counter will be initially containing the address of the instruction to be fetched. The processor will be fetching the instruction from the instruction memory based on this address. So meanwhile, the program counter will be updated with the address of the next instruction, that is PC plus 4 will be updated to the program counter. So second step is instruction decode. So during this step, instruction decoder will be decoding the instructions, as well as the registers are identified, and as well as it will be read based on the register number. Third step is execution. So ALU will be executing the instruction based on the value decoded by the instruction decoder in case of arithmetic and logical instruction. So in case of data transfer instruction, ALU will be computing the address from which the data to be fetched, or to which address the data to be returned. The fourth step is memory access. So data memory will be accessed for reading the data or writing the data. The last step is write back. The finally computed ALU result will be returned back to the destination register based on the register number. So we can able to see, so it is actually a non-pipelined data path. So we can able to see how an instruction is executed in case of non-pipelined or single cycle implementation of data path. So consider we have three instructions here. For example, in the first clock cycle, the first instruction will be fetched. In the second clock cycle, the first instruction will be decoded. In the third clock cycle, the first instruction will be executed. In the fourth clock cycle, the first instruction will be accessing the memory. In the fifth clock cycle, by writing back the result, the first instruction will be completing the task. So as the name mentioned, single cycle implementation. So each and every stage or each and every step will be taking one clock cycle. So for executing a single instruction, the processor will consume 5 clock cycles. So consider the second instruction, it is going to start its task in the 6th clock cycle. So second instruction will be fetched at the clock cycle 6. In second instruction will be decoded at clock cycle 7. At clock cycle 8, the second instruction will be executed. At clock cycle 9, the second instruction will be accessing the memory. So second instruction will be completing the entire task at clock cycle at 10. So third instruction will be fetched at clock cycle 11. It will be decoded at 12. It will be executed at 13. Third instruction will be accessing the memory at 14. So at the 15th clock cycle, all the three instruction will be completing that task. So for an average, 5 clock cycles are required for executing a single instruction. So for example, if an 100 instructions are available in a program, so it will consume 500 CPU clock cycles if you are implementing the data path without pipelining. So in case of pipelining, consider these 5 instructions is implemented with a processor which is implemented with pipelining. The first instruction will be fetched at clock cycle 1. At clock cycle 2, second instruction will be fetched, and as an overlapping case, the first instruction will be decoded at clock cycle 2 and second instruction will be fetched. At clock cycle 3, first instruction will be executing, second instruction will be decoded, and third instruction will be fetched. At clock cycle number 4, fourth instruction will be fetched, third instruction will be decoding, second instruction will be executing at that time, first instruction will be accessing the memory. At clock cycle number 5, fifth instruction will be fetched, fourth instruction will be decoding, third instruction will be executing by accessing the ALU, second instruction will be accessing the memory, first instruction will be completing its task by writing back the result to the destination register, and so on. So if you see this particular clock cycle 5, one instruction will be fetching, one instruction will be decoding, one instruction will be executing, and one instruction is accessing the memory, and one instruction is writing back the result. So by implementing the pipelining concept to a processor, so we can conclude that as an average, uh, the average number of clock cycles required to process one instruction is only one clock cycle. See here, at clock cycle number 5, the same will be repeated in each and every clock cycle if we have further instruction. So on an average, the number of clock cycle required to execute one instruction is one clock cycle. So for example, the same example, if we have 100 instructions in your program, you need only 100 clock cycle if the processor is implemented with pipelining. So on an average, the average number of clock cycle required to process one instruction is only one clock cycle. So pipeline improve the performance of a processor by increasing the instruction throughput. So as of now, we have seen what is pipelining and what is the advantage of pipelining. Now we are going to see how to implement the pipelining. For example, we have three different functional blocks in your data path. For example, this is the instruction going to be executed. So we have to calculate x dot y. After that, we have to take the magnitude. For that result, we have to take the logarithm. The block A is going to do multiplication of x and y. Block B is going to do the magnitude of x dot y. Block C is going to compute logarithm. For example, the speed of each and every functional block will be differed based on the internal architecture of each and every component. For example, case number 1, A is faster than B. Consider. So at that time, A will be processing the inputs x and y as soon as x and y data is available, and the result will be passed on to B. B is slower here, so B will be busy with some other task, which is the input which is already generated by A will be processed by B. So the new input will be delayed because B is computing with the previous data. So at that time, the data may lost. And the case number 2, if A is slower and B is faster, at that time A will be computing the data very slower manner compared to B. So B and C has to wait for a long time to get the data from A. So in order to overcome these two problems, so these two problems may affect the performance of a CPU. It will affect the speed directly. So in order to overcome these type of problems only, we are going to implement pipelining. So pipelining is implemented by inserting buffers in between each and every functional blocks. So these buffers can be implemented by any of the data data structures like stack or queue. So whenever A is completing a task, the result will be loaded to this buffer. Whenever B is completing a task, the result will be loaded to the particular buffer. So irrespective of the speed of each and every block, the data will be available in the buffer. So whenever the functional block is free, it can able to access the data from the buffer and it can able to execute. So each and every functional block, no need to wait for the data from the previous block. So the previous block will be processing the data and the data will be loaded to the buffer. So anytime the next block can access the data whenever it is free, and it can able to do the processing. So this is the way the pipelining is implemented in the data path. So this is the single cycle implementation of the data path. Single cycle implementation means each and every stage will consume one clock cycle. So this is the data path implementation without pipelining. So we will be implementing the pipelining between each and every stage by introducing buffers. So this is the pipelined version of data path. So by implementing the pipelining, we can able to improve the speed of the processing. For example, so we are going to discuss based on the load word instruction. So in the instruction fetch stage, the program counter will be having the address. So based on the address, the instruction will be fetched from the instruction memory and it will be loaded to the buffer. And meanwhile, program counter, the address to be loaded to the program counter will be calculated based on this adder PC plus 4. That value also to be will be loaded to the buffer. So in the second stage, from the buffer will be having the instruction. So instruction decoder will decode this instruction from the buffer and it will be analyzing what are all the registers required, and from those registers the data will be fetched and it will be loaded to the next buffer. So sometimes the one of the operand may be an immediate operand. At that time, sign extension unit will be used to convert the 16-bit data to the immediate value or address to 32-bit, and it also will be loaded to the um, buffer. So in case of load word, so this is the offset value which is of 16-bit. So it will be converted to 32-bit and it will be loaded here. And next stage, execution. In the load word instruction, the ALU will be used to compute the address from which the data to be fetched. So one of the input to the ALU is the base register content. So second source will be the immediate offset value, which is sign extended to 32-bit, which is available in the particular previous stage buffer. So these two data will be fetched and loaded to the ALU, and ALU will be computing the address in case of load word instruction. Now the address will be available in this particular buffer. The third stage, memory access. So based on this particular address, that particular data memory will be accessed and that data will be read and it will be loaded to the next buffer. In the final stage, the data which is read from the data memory which is available in the buffer, it will be returned back to the destination register based on the register number. So here IF bar ID means this buffer is common to, or this buffer is placed between instruction fetch stage as well as instruction decode stage. This buffer is placed between instruction decode stage as well as execution stage. This buffer is placed between execution stage as well as memory access stage. This buffer is placed between memory access stage as well as write back stage. So we have already seen about this fifth clock cycle. Here, according to this example, at clock cycle equal to 5, all the instructions are in the data path, instructions pipelining data path. Fifth instruction is fetched. Fourth instruction is getting decoded. Third instruction is in the execution cycle. Second instruction is accessing the memory. First instruction is writing the data, writing the output back to the register. So this stage we can able to see in the pipeline the data path. So this is the single clock cycle diagram corresponding to that fifth clock cycle of the pipeline. So here, according to this example, add the register content 5 and 6 and it will be loaded to register 14. So this is my fifth instruction. It will be in the fetch cycle. So instruction 5 will be in the fetch cycle. Instruction 4 will be in the decoding cycle. Instruction 3 will be in the third stage, that is my execution cycle. Instruction 2 will be in the fourth stage, that is memory access. Instruction 1 is going to write back the data back to the destination register. So this is the way pipelining stages are arranged inside the processor in order to improve the throughput. Thank you.